Hi, I'm Mike Yanessa, and welcome to another episode of Car Stories on the PCTV network right here in Pottstown. We're in the showroom of Wheels of Motion, my company, at 525 East High Street. And tonight we got some really good special guests for you. We're going to talk about racing, we're going to talk about old cars, so stay tuned, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I told you we had special guests tonight, and here they are. This is the Johnson family. Anita Johnson, John Johnson, and Kevin Johnson. I've known those guys a long time, and John was always into racing. He used to work at Maple Grove. He has some really good shots of Maple Grove back in the day, and we've been friends for a long time. He raced. Kevin's racing today. They have a lot to talk about. They have some really cool pictures to show us. So, John, what do you got?
Well, what are we bringing up first?
What do you want up? The
I
Willies?
guess we could go all the way back to my first dragster. You got that on there? Can you bring that up?
Your first dragster, which is what was that called?
That was called the Quarter Pounder.
The Quarter Pounder.
There it is.
Wow.
I bought that from a man named Dave Grubb, who is probably familiar to everybody that'll watch this show. I was working at Maple Grove in the pit control tower, and everybody was leaving. It was the end of the day. I was tying things up in the tower, and they pulled the car down. It was on a flat homemade trailer, and it had for sale on the car. So I scurried down out of the pit control tower and said, "What do you want for it?" And he said, "Car, trailer, battery charger, everything, $1,500.
Now, when was this? What year? Where are we at?
Oh my God, this would have been probably 78.
Yeah, because that's about when I got to know you in the late 70s, and you had the Quarter Pounder, and you were racing, and Larry was building the motors.
Yep, Larry Roberts Chevy Power.
Yep.
So we raced that car for a couple of years, and then our good friend Skip Bechtel wanted to go to a back motor car, so he had Donnie Meng build him a brand new back motor car, sold me his 185-inch front motor car, and I put all my powertrain and everything in that, and that became Quarter Pounder 2, basically. So we, by the way, Bob Hilbert is the guy that did that lettering that you've got up now from Boyertown.
Wow.
The guy jumping up, smashing the quarter, having the double meaning of pounding a quarter mile and beating the daylights out of a quarter.
Now, who's that, John?
Now, that guy is my good friend Tom Buchter, who happens to be in the background here with us.
He's in our audience tonight, taking
yes, he
still
is.
pictures.
He was, I took that picture, I think it was on the Fire Up Road. When it was a hot Fire Up Road, Tom was sitting in the car. And then Tom was with us. He built the scoop for that car, a fiberglass scoop, and did everything because he said you can't have that old sardine can for a scoop on the car. So we went with his, and
that's the scoop there, that shot?
no, that one now is a Formula 3000 scoop that we.
Oh, okay.
Where did we get that? Down at S&W. You were with me when we got that stuff. You don't remember?
And this
We
is
were.
where we at, like 1980?
Yeah, now we're up to about maybe 78, 9, right
Okay.
there. Yeah.
Wow. Maple Grove sure
And
changed.
I don't remember who got that smoky burnout, but I treasured it ever after. In that car, I went. I guess with that very mild motor, we had like $400 in the motor. I went 9.7 seconds at 140 in that car.
And now wait, Anita, how did you put up with this? Were you happy? Were you worried?
I love my family. I love everything we've done. It got to be a little much after a while, but after 51 years, we're still here, we're still together.
And still racing,
And
still
still
doing
racing.
cars. So that's
So
good.
it's a-
That's
it's
good.
a good thing.
This was the beginning here. That's neat.
I remember when I bought the first car from Dave, and I told Anita we were going to go look at the dragster down his garage. Her comment was, "What are you trying to do, kill yourself?" I said, "It's not a round-around car. We go straight down the track. We don't hit anything. We go like hell
Yeah.
and pull a parachute to get us stopped, and it's perfectly safe."
Coincidentally, my wife saw my first dragster, front engine dragster. It's a 1969 dragster, still running.
Wow.
And the look on her face, being a non-racer when she met me, was might as well have been the T-Rex in the driveway, about ready to chomp my head off. She was scared of it, and she learned.
Kept asking me, "Are you going to let your son do this?" And I said, "Well," I said to him, "the car is dangerous. The motor's sitting in your face." And then he said to me, "Are you serious, Dad? How long did I watch you do this?" And I said, "Okay,
I guess he can't say nothing then.
about time to shut up."
Wow.
That picture was, there's Larry.
Larry Roberts,
Larry
yep.
Roberts, the engine builder.
Good old friend, yeah, and he built the engine back at his shop. Wow.
Yep.
350?
Yep.
327?
It was a 350.
350?
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
And just practically stock. I mean, it didn't have much speed equipment in it. But we did well with it. We didn't have a good converter. Okay, the converter, I had the one from Skip Bechtel's old Snake Charmer Corvette.
Right.
Nothing.
Wasn't made for that car.
No.
Powerglide, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Stock Powerglide.
Two-speed automatic with
Yep.
a, and you still went 970. That's pretty
We
good.
were going up to the Pottstown Airport and getting aviation gas to run. It did very well for what was in it.
Yep.
And then I actually, the new car that you saw, the one I bought from Skip, I actually crashed and totaled the car, and Donnie Ming said, "I can't fix it. You bent everything, including the rear." So we knocked it off because Kevin and Lisa were both still in high school, so I said I'd rather just go build a street rod. So
you built Lisa a 69 Camaro?
Built Lisa.
Kevin had a 67 Camaro, so
we built Kevin's 67,
Took a-
8, that was an
68.
68,
Yep.
right.
Yep.
So you took a little break from
that I
racing
bought
and-
from Mikey.
Yeah, he bought it from me, that's
Yep.
correct. When he was first car.
Sitting down in the woods behind
Yep.
your shop up in Farmington.
Yep,
Avenue.
I think, what, $1,100 maybe?
Yep, I don't think it
Yep.
was.
It was a deal.
So now, after Kevin and Lisa grew up, we're back into racing again, but it's Kevin doing the racing. And on the screen now is a picture of a 68 Camaro funny car, 67.
Yeah, it's a 67. We'd like to think of it being a 67. It was built by Mark Williams in Colorado. It was a brand new order for a gentleman that was running nitro cars at the time, which were brand new and cutting edge. And what we found this car, thanks to a friend of ours in Kansas, he found it, drug it back home to Pennsylvania, and we were able to basically have Ed Quay restore the chassis to make sure it was safe for sub 9-second passes. And we had our friend Army Armstrong, who had found the funny car, to reproduce the body so we could make a copy just in case the original would get damaged.
Plus, the old man couldn't lift the old heavy body. That
Yeah,
thing must have weighed
very
400
heavy.
pounds.
Yep.
The old
Fiberglass.
bodies, yeah, were a little different than today. Yep.
So we restored that in 2007, and we're out on the track painted after Wheels in Motion, painted the beautiful red, GM red with Fireball House of Color flake, and the white pearl, the tri-coat pearl. That was 2008 was the first year we had it down the track, and this picture is from Marion County in Ohio at the Funny Car Nationals, an event we run every year. We run the injected alcohol category, and the car goes in the low 9s or high 8s at the speeds and ETs that it did originally under nitro.
Wow.
We pull the wheels up, give the photographers a show, and do a lot of car shows, including the grand opening of Wheels in Motion.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We're right next to Fred Jet.
Yep. Fred Spezio's jet funny car, and Kevin brought his funny car here for the open house when we opened this building in 2013.
Yep.
Wow.
And we won an award at the Super Chevy Show in 2010,
I remember that. I was there.
and we got the Editor's Choice. So that was a very proud moment. That was a father and son project through and through. We built the car, like I said, with the help of Edquay race cars for the chassis work. And we did a lot of the other work to bring the car to
Yeah,
its...
some guy in Pottstown painted it named
Hey.
Mike,
Yeah.
Mike Yanessa, I believe.
I painted it, but John spent 2 weeks packing a lunch and drinks at my house, sanding and picking and priming and sanding.
Yep.
And then we finally got it ready and we painted it, and
That's a
Came out
shot
nice.
of the car originally.
I never
That
saw
was
that.
probably its third or fourth iteration, I want to say, in the sense of partners. John Decker, who is a very famous funny car pilot from that neck of the woods, who drove the car's Assassination brand of cars from Roger Guzman, who was a famous engine builder. This was his third partner, who was an Air Force gentleman in the Air Force. Didn't have much time to spend with the car, but it was his partner, and it was a beautiful candy apple red. One of the most beautiful paint jobs of the time of the cars. So we were just trying to give it some homage to it with the metal flake and stuff, and that's a shot of Mikey painting it in his booth at home.
yep.
Putting the tricolor,
Yep, I think that's either primer or the first coat going
First
on there.
coat, it looks like white, yeah. Yep, I remember that. That
And,
doesn't seem like it was that long ago, but I guess it was.
Exactly, and there's the finished
There's
product.
Colin, yep, Collins
Yep.
and Kevin and John and I
I think
in the
Nick's
driveway.
the only one missing out of that picture. He was the one who was taking
Yep.
the picture.
Yeah, yeah, he helped buff it.
Exactly.
and Kevin hadn't lettered it at that point, so.
Right, that was fresh done. That was just done in about 2 weeks, if I remember right. 3 weeks it was at the house, and John was there every day sanding, and
He sure was.
and we finally got it done. And Kevin took it to Englishtown, right, for some
Yep.
funny car reunion.
That was our
or
first
something.
one, 2008.
Cool, big block Chevy, fuel injected there.
Yep, Hillborn, original Hillborn, first generation Hillborn injection actually. So that was the only thing that we would probably want to do is put period correct wheels on it, and after that I don't know that there's a whole lot that was different. We had to bring it up to safety spec so we could
Sure.
race the car, and that's what caused us to put the diagonal bars in, which they didn't have in the day, and that's what made them unsafe. People would have their legs fly out in a bad accident, and
Right,
this
right.
is the theory and the evolution of race cars. As time progressed, they went to a different style. And that's the website address for the funny car, if anyone would like to learn more about it, and our schedule for running the car in 2015.
Now,
And we will have it out this year, Memorial Day weekend, we'll be
Where?
at the Quaker City Dragway.
Oh.
In
Ohio.
Salem,
Ohio.
Ohio,
We run with the Great Lakes Nostalgia Funny Car Circuit.
the largest gathering of alcohol funny cars in competition on the East Coast. Over 24 funny cars battling it out with
Oh,
gassers and dragsters and
nice.
all kinds of nostalgia racing going on.
And nostalgia racing's really really fun to watch because you see the old cars that you grew up with, and it's just a different type of racing than we see today on TV.
It's an alternative.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the car shapes and sizes and stuff of this generation. They look
Right.
like the cars that they represented
Now what's
from the
this
factory.
here? Now this has the same name, quarter pounder.
Yep,
What's
this
going
is
on?
our new car for this year.
Okay.
We've been building this for about 4 years now. This is a restoration of a car that's been running since 1980. It was an alcohol funny car from back then. A gentleman named Howard Pepping from Ohio had built the car with Hal Canode out in the Midwest, who still makes great chassis to this day, and this is a very well built car. So we'll be running this year. It's a double B funny car, blown big block Chevy on methanol. We'll be running probably low sevens and be shooting for
Wow.
at about 200 miles an hour. And we have yet to paint it, but there's the original car. And a big smoky burnout.
And this is back.
This is 1979, 80,
80, almost
81
brand
range.
new.
I'm not exactly sure. He had picked up Bush as a sponsor, as you can see on the car, the Rainbow Connection being the name of the car, and then and raced it for quite a few years. And this is a picture of it just recently. I believe it was last weekend we
Last
snapped
I
this.
saw it, it didn't look like that. You got
Yeah,
a
we
lot
put
done.
we got the body work done and the primer on, the burst panels in, a lot of lot of the miscellaneous things that we had to do. We only have a few more, and it's getting fired up next weekend for the first time and getting prepped for our 2015 season.
Right.
It looks evil, mean, and nasty with that black primer on.
Yeah, it sure does.
Really, yeah.
And it's a 80 Trans Am,
It is a 1979,
79.
but 80 and 79 were very similar, so we go with the 79 since it was the first year, and that's when I believe he had it started to be built, so we'll call that a 79. It's a very unique body. The front end has a different style than the Smokey and the Bandit Trans Am of that era,
Right.
but we like this. It's an original car. The frame and body are original, so we're going
And
to
you
keep
had
it
to
going.
update that one too?
We haven't
A little
actually.
bit?
We didn't have to do anything.
Oh.
It was run before we bought it. It was run as a Nitro funny car in the IHRA Nitro Jam series, and one of the drivers had taken it to a win. So it is a winning car in the last 6 years or so, and it has been at speeds of over 236 miles an hour. So
Wow, so you're good.
we're good to go.
Good. Great.
Did have to do quite a bit of changing in the interior of the car because they ran a, for a tranny, when that behind in the blend car.
Yeah, that was a Hemi with a Lenco.
Blanco.
Oh.
Transmission, in that we had to change it from that to a more mild big block Chevy and Power Glide combo,
Right.
similar to your race cars and
then,
stuff,
of
and regular
course,
race cars.
Kevin got a late model shifter that he can reach because he is sort of, I don't want to call it a layback car, but as low as it sits, if you stand next to it and put your arm out, there's probably that much space. That's how low it sits to the ground.
The chassis
So-
builders had been building cars that actually put their driver in more of a inverted position, and their knees were up higher, and this was one of those styles of cars. Before
little different.
today, John Force and those, they drive, and they're in a very upright position, and it has to do with controlling the car better. So it'll be a ride.
And this is a website for
This is the website for the Quarter Pounder, yep.
Okay.
Just like we have the Glory Days and thequarterpounder.com. You can find more
Okay.
information about the car.
And plenty more pictures.
We run with the Great Lakes Nostalgia Funny Car Circuit. That's where we have up to 20 different funny cars that run at tracks from Pennsylvania out to Michigan, and a lot of other places, Tennessee. We hit quite a few shows. We'll be running with them in 2015 as well.
Great.
And this is the show that we're going to be attending coming up Memorial Day weekend. If anyone's interested, it's in Ohio. It's about a 5-hour drive from here, but it is very much well worth it. It's a huge show.
I was there once. I towed
Quaker
all the
City.
way there, and it rained the whole weekend.
To Quaker City.
Quaker City Dragway. I got to see the track, and we stayed there, stayed for the weekend, was hoping it would clear up. Never cleared up. Turned around and came home.
Ate some food,
I
had a
tell you,
couple of beers, and
Yeah, that's right. It was 1990. I remember it. The kids were little, and me, Kelly, and the kids went in the dually in the enclosed trailer and went out there to go racing for something. I don't remember what event, but rained every day. Yep.
Yeah, this is a
10 minutes.
a new track owner, and he's really putting a big effort into promoting this event.
Good.
We just designed some billboards for the local area. I do their website. I'm a website developer. It's my day job, so we support it as much as we can and try to get the word out there so folks can find it and have a great time.
Well, this was a picture from 2013. I was very fortunate to get inducted into the Walk of Fame at Maple Grove.
Wow. Yep, because you raced at Maple Grove, you worked at Maple Grove.
I worked there for what, 7 years.
Yep.
So did all the electronics and did every job that was to be done there. Announced for a while. I manually dialed handicaps in the classes and went to pick control tower, ran the safety tower at the bottom. Pretty much everything. And then when things got slow or Lex would yell at me, I would disappear off the starting line, and then I was down the pits wrenching on Carol Hines' car, and he come down and said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I quit." And he said, "You can't quit, get back to the starting line."
That's
So,
great.
You know, we had a couple of those, but
Oh, yeah.
it was fun.
There it is.
There's
Wow.
your award.
That's the award. I said,
And
just,
there's Larry in the background. I see.
Yep,
I see
he
Larry
sure is.
Roberts.
I
Yep.
said, just,
Carol's
just
in there too.
imagining that
Wow.
my name is one of the bricks with some really famous people throughout
Right.
the racing world. It's just awesome.
We have yet to see that brick, though.
No.
Right, we didn't get there.
Well, you have to get up to see
Yes,
it.
we
yeah.
do.
There's all of us.
That's Lisa. She's not here tonight. That's
Lisa's not here.
John and Anita's daughter, Kevin's sister, and she was a car girl too all her life. You
Through
know?
and through.
She helped me build her Camaro.
Yeah,
Yep.
I remember.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's our 55 Chevy right now. What are you telling about?
And look who there. There's Nick in the background
right.
and Kevin on High Street. This was a
That's-
cruise night, right?
That was after your the grand
Oh,
opening.
after the
Yep.
open
This was
house.
your grand
Ah,
opening,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, our son decided to surprise us with the 55 Chevy.
Yeah, I
He
remember
traded
that.
his 69 Camaro.
The one
No,
that I bought
eight,
from
you're
Mikey.
right.
68
Yeah, the
Camaro.
68 Camaro he bought from me, traded for the
Yes.
55, and he gave this to you
He said, "Here,
a
Dad's
couple years
keys."
ago.
Yep, 2011.
Yeah.
He said, Dad, you're always building. You never have anything to drive to the show. So now you got something.
There you go.
It's like,
Wait a minute, what's she doing behind the wheel?
That's right.
well, she said to me, "This is my car." I said, "Okay."
I drove it home
Yes, she did.
after Kevin gave it to us.
When we picked it up, he brought it down to the meet at Boyertown. the,
Duryea.
Yeah,
Duryea
yeah.
days. And what does she do? Light up the tires in the parking lot over there. I said, "All right."
Oh my goodness,
Yeah, it's nice.
that's great.
It's got a 383 stroker in it.
Hey, I had one of them too in the day.
Mm-hmm.
A little junior dragster.
Yep, and that's the next generation. We'd like to bring the kids in for the next round of racers and drag racers. It's a car I found this winter.
And you go for Lisa's?
Yep, for
Yep.
Bryce, my
They
nephew
didn't-
Bryce. Hopefully, he'll
They
be.
didn't run it yet?
No,
Okay,
we just
getting
bought it.
ready?
Just
Wow.
bought it in October, November, and
We have to figure a way of approaching Keith about this.
Right,
You know,
right.
Bryce's dad.
So
Well, he's going to know tonight, right? And for our viewers that aren't familiar, this is a junior dragster. It has a lawnmower engine in it. It's for young kids to learn how to drag race. I was involved at the very beginning with my boys, and we had a lot of good times with it. And, you know, they did it, they liked it, they enjoyed it, and they moved on, which is fine. You know, it's just let them experience it. Like Jimmy was
Exactly.
8 years old, went 50-some
I
miles
was
an hour.
one.
That's, you know, that's pretty cool.
Bryce is
He still
11.
talks about it. Yeah, and Bryce,
Yeah.
he'll be.
Yeah.
I'm sure he will.
Bryce is,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to be a natural.
You think?
Yeah.
That's
Chase,
great.
he's a baseball player. He doesn't get too crazy.
Right.
But,
Right.
He's a good baseball player.
Good.
And then these are the photos that.
Well, now, the one
Dad
week you
can
had
talk.
Harry and Mike and Ken.
Yep, Hall.
Show,
If
and
you
that-
saw our other show, we had Harry Hall and his boys on. This is the KS Pittman Willys
Yep.
that Harry drove.
He owned.
He owned
Harry
Yep.
owned and drove
Yep.
it, yes.
and drove
Because
it
Harry was good friends with Kay.
after KS.
Yes.
I mean,
Yep.
he bought it from
Yes.
KS.
Yep.
Yes.
Wow. And this is Maple Grove. Like I said, John worked there, and he took some really cool pictures. And you can go to his website, which we'll show you in a minute, and you can see some more of the pictures. And there's one for you. I know who that is.
That's our good buddy Carol Hine from Douglasville. That roadster is called Moonshot because it usually would leave the starting line with the wheels about
wheels
6
up.
foot in the air. So
And you can see it there at the bottom. I don't know if you can make it out, but drag photos, drags.lookscool.com. And it'll be up on our screen. So after the show, you can go look at all John's couple hundred pictures, maybe. What do you got on?
yeah, I
Quite a
think
few.
so, probably, yeah.
Maple Grove Drag Away.
That's
Boy.
Tony Zimba.
Yeah. And
have
a
no
nice
idea
blue
who did-
Nova.
That's Tony Zimba in Little Trouble. The 40
Wow.
Willies.
Pottstown's one of Pottstown's finest.
That's
And Maple Grove, way before it had bleachers and grandstands and you know, the towers. This was the
yeah.
tower.
that's
you know?
Squeak in the other line there. That's
Oh,
Saul
yeah, there's
Brothers.
Squeak. We've had that on before, and Saul Brothers truck that still runs around.
Yep.
I guess they got that on the street now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the Rhineford Brothers.
the Rhinfords, which you know, I love
Horace
to have
and
on the
Paul.
show.
Yep.
Yeah.
I saw Horace this weekend. Horace Jr., Senior, Jungle Jim, how about that?
That's
Talk
Jungle
about a
right
funny
in the
car.
middle with the white shirt working on the car. So
Wow.
I felt like that was a great shot, you know.
And these were all shots that you got from
Yep.
working at Maple Grove.
And that one's
That's-
taken up from the walkway, the old walkway that used to be across the
there's-
staging lanes at Maple Grove. Yep.
Larson,
Bruce when he was
Jenkins.
running Pro Stock for that time.
Oh my, John, they're priceless.
Oh God, and they all came in on ramp trucks, you know.
Right.
Yeah, Grumpy was the second one in.
That's Charlie Hill and Bob Palmer's car they're from Wrightsville, Pennsylvania.
Mm.
That's a nitro,
Yep.
blown nitro altered,
Fuel altered.
which they want to go every which way but straight.
What's this one here?
That's Lewis Brothers, Mike and Ken, sparkling
Oh.
burgundy car.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Mike Lewis, the executive VP at Schumacher Racing right now.
Yeah.
It's early days.
Oh my, look at that.
Pee Wee Wallace and Charlie Allen.
Charlie Allen was the owner of Firebird Raceway, and
Look at the Challengers as the tow cars.
Yeah, and the
matching.
background shots of all
Yep.
the old cars.
Yep. There's some great pictures on the website.
Yeah, like I said, you got to go to the website.
There's
and,
Bruce and
Talking
the
about
70s, the 70 Camaro.
70 Camaro tow car,
Yep.
towing that. Wow. Hey, we're running out of time, folks. We only got a few minutes left, so we'll hit
okay,
a
you
few
can jog
pictures.
through a couple more, and then
We're just going to
Jim
go
and Allison
through.
Lee's Great Expectations 2.
Look at the crowds in the stands back then.
oh
I
my
went
God,
too
yes,
fast there.
That
But,
was great.
and the Cuda pushing the dragster. Wow.
Yeah, that was the Masters. And
There you go. That's what we're
somebody's
waiting
car.
for. So make sure you go there after the show's over and check out all of John's, cool nostalgic photos. What, in the 70s we're talking? 70s?
Late 60s, early
Late
70s.
60s.
Yep.
It's,
Mid 70s, drag racing at Maple Grove.
I worked until '83 at Maple Grove, and then bought the dragster from Davy Grubb,
Right.
and the rest is history.
Wow. And if you want to go to the PCTV network online, you can watch all of our old shows for the past couple years and tell your friends this show, if they're not in the Comcast viewing area, they can watch this show in about a week. It'll be online, thepctnetwork.com, and it's powered by TelesVision. And thanks, Gus, for doing a great job here on Car Stories. Unfortunately, we're out of time. I want to thank Anita, John, and Kevin, my old friends, for coming here and sharing their car stories, many of them. And if you get a chance this summer, get out to the races and watch these guys race.
We'll be
So-
running the Grove, Atco, Cecil County,
Right.
probably a lot I haven't thought besides Ohio.
Right, besides the Ohio. So you're doing the East Coast stuff too.
Exactly.
So, all right. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, John.
Thank
and
you.
Anita.
And Anita. Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Yep.